Today we will discuss about the mini project University Record Management System that will be the backbone of modern information system. Today we will discuss about how to create a mini project on University Record Management System using MySQL. In the previous 11 week, we have already explained the concept and foundation of database. Today we will design a real life database system. A structure project will be a database, namely URM, and we will discuss a table, a student table, teacher table, course table, and enrollment table. We discuss the 4 tables, and the project commands will be data definition language and data modification language. Already I have explained in detail with various examples. So today we will create a student table. The student table will contain a column, you can say attributes. A student ID is will be primary key, a student name, a student email, a student date of birth, a student major, and other relevant student information. This table contain about 6 attributes you have to create. The next table, teacher table, is also contain 5 attributes. First is teacher ID, because every table must have a primary key. So here I have assigned a teacher ID is a primary key, teacher name, teacher email, teacher department, and other relevant teacher information. The next table you have to create course table. In the course table, the course ID is a primary key. It also contains 6 attributes. First will be course ID, course name, course description, course department, course credit hour, other relevant course information. You can see on the screen. The next table you have to create the enrollment. Enrollment contain 5 attributes. First is enrollment ID, is a primary key. Next is a student ID, is a foreign key referencing student table. And then course ID is foreign key referencing course table. So here you have to 4 foreign key you have to use, student ID and course ID. The next, and the grade if applicable. So then enrollment table contains 5 attributes, one containing a primary key, 2 is a foreign key. Then after you have to create a database of the university. How you will create? The first, for the university, in MySQL you have to write create database university. When you press OK, will be display, one row affected. Then you can say university, then you have to use university database has been changed. Then after you have to create a table of a student. In MySQL, how you write? Create table students, because you have to create a student table, a student. Within bracket, you have to write a student ID, integer, auto increment, primary key, comma, a student name, varchar 255, comma, a student email, varchar Within parentheses you have to write 255 a student date of birth, date, comma, a student major, varchar 100, comma, other information text. Then you have to close the parenthesis, then semicolon. When you will press, it will show query OK. It means by this you are able to create a student table which contains a student ID, a student name, a student email, a student date of birth, a student major, and other information. The 6 attributes you have created. When you want to see the schema of a student, so in the screen I have written how you will see the database you have created. I have already explained describe command. So you have to, in MySQL you have to write describe students and semicolon, then it will display on your computer as you can see on the screen. Field type, null, key, default, extra. In the field type you can see a student ID, a student name, a student email, a student date of birth, a student major, or other information. The type is integer. Varchar 20 and date and data types, and the other information is text. A student ID not null. It means the primary key must be not null, and then student name yes or whatever, and then null. In this way, 6 row in a set. It means 6 attributes you can add it in that schema. Next topic is to create of teachers. In MySQL you have to write create table teachers, then parenthesis you have to write teacher ID integer, auto increment primary key, comma, teacher name varchar 255, teacher email varchar 255, teacher department varchar 100, comma, other information text, then parenthesis will be closed, then semicolon. When you will enter the query OK, it will return. It means you have created a table teachers. Then you want to see the schema of teacher. So you have to write describe command. In MySQL you have to write describe teachers. It will display. You can see on the screen field type, null, key, default, extra. The fields which you have created: teacher's ID, teacher's name, teacher's email, teacher's department, other information. And the types integer, varchar, and the text. Here also you have the teacher ID is a primary key, that's why it is not null. So in this way we are able to see the structure of the database of a teacher. So these are very practical. So in the computer you have to create a teacher table. The next is create table of a course. The third is the course. So in MySQL you have to write same way, create table course, then parenthesis, then course ID, integer, auto increment primary key, comma, course name varchar 255, comma, course description text, comma, course department varchar 100, comma, course credit hours integer, then parenthesis should be closed, then semicolon. When you will enter, it will show the query OK. It means you have created a table, name is courses. Then you want to see the description of the database. In the screen you can see show a schema of course inside database using describe command. In MySQL you have write this course or description, describe, or you can 4-letter minimum it will take. DSC, courses. Then it will display like that. You can see on the screen, field, type, null, key, default, extra. The field is course ID, integer, course name, varchar, course description, text, data types, course department, varchar, and the course credit hour, integer. And here the course ID is the primary key, that's why it is null. All are not null. So you can see 5 rows in a set. Same way, you have to create a table of enrollments. How many students have enrolled this course? So this you have to create on your system. You have to write in on your computer MySQL, create table enrollments, parenthesis, enrollment ID, integer auto increment primary key, comma, student ID integer, comma, course ID integer, enrollment ID, enrollment date is date, comma, grade, varchar. Here in the table you have to create two foreign keys. The foreign key you have to define a student ID, references students, a student ID within parenthesis. In this way you are able to create. Then foreign key, course ID, references, course within parenthesis you have to write course ID. It means core ID will become foreign key, then parenthesis close, then semicolon. When you enter, it will show a query OK. In this way, we are able to create a table of enrollments. Then show the schema of enrollment inside database using describe command. So you have to write in MySQL ds enrollments. Then it will shows. You can see on the screen the field types null, key, default, extra. The fields are enrollment, types integer, student ID integer, course ID integer, enrollment date, grade, varsha. In this way, we are able to see the descriptions of a table which you have created by name of enrollments. Then till now I have discussed how to create. This is a real life question. So in the computer you create all the 4 tables. Then the next step is to insert. How you will insert a value in the all 4 tables. First we'll insert the value in student table, then teacher table, enrollment table, the course table. So we'll start inserting value from a student table. Now in MySQL, you have to write insert into, put the name of student table, students within parenthesis. You have to write student name, comma, student email, a student date of birth, a student major, other information. Then parenthesis should be closed. Then you have to write values. Then parenthesis, John Dew within a quote. Then john.dew@example.com. This is email, comma, 15 August 1995, in the code you have to write. Then a student major, computer science, some additional information about the John. So this, then parenthesis should be closed. This will be one record. One tuple will be added depending on. If you want to add more, I have in the example, I have taken 2 records. So in the 2, Alice Smith, in the code you have to write, comma, alicesmith@example.com, this is the email, within the code you have to write, then comma, 21st March 1998, within code you have to write, then the major is the mathematics, then additional information about the Alice Smith, it should be the code, then parenthesis should be closed, then you will put semicolon, then when you will press, it will show the query OK, 2 rows affected. We are able to add a 2 record into the existing table students. You can add more depending on requirement, but here I am taking a simple example. So I have added 2 records. Then you want to see you have added record. So you have to, what you will do, select a star from a student. In MySQL, you have to select a star from a student. So you want to a student ID, a student name, you can see on the screen, a student email, a student date of birth, a student major, and other information. First record will be John Dew @example.com, 15 August 1995. The major is computer science. Some additional information about the John Dew. The second student ID, Alice Smith @example.com, 21st March 1998. Mathematics additional information about Alice Smith added. It means 2 row will be added. In this way, we are able to see the records we have added. Next, insert a command for the value in the teacher table. Same way you have to write in MySQL, inserting sample data into table. Inserting sample data into the teachers table. You have to write in MySQL, insert into teachers, within bracket you have to write teacher's name, teacher's email ID, teacher's department, other info, only 5 attributes. Then you have to write values. Then for teacher's name, Dr. Smith, within quote you have to write comma, Smith @example.com, computer science, some additional information about Dr. Smith, within quote you have to write. Then it should be closed. So 1 tuple will be added. For next, Professor John @example.com, mathematics, additional information about Professor John, query OK, 2 row affected. In this way, we are able to insert 2 values. Then you want to value of teachers by using select command. You can see in the MySQL you have to write select a star, because here you want to all attributes you want to see. If you want to only teacher's name and you can say department, so here you have to write select teacher's name, comma, department. Otherwise you have to select a star from teachers, teacher's ID, teacher's name, teacher's email, teacher department, other information you can see on the screen. Dr. Smith @example.com, computer science, some additional information about the Smith, 1 tuple. Second tuple, Professor John @example.com, mathematics, additional information about the Professor John, 2 row will be added. In this way you are able to see the tuples. The next is how to insert a value in the course table. Same way you have to write insert into courses. Table name is courses. Within parentheses you have to course name, course description, course department, course credit, hour. Then you have parentheses will close. Then you have to write values. Then you have to write within parentheses you have to write single quote, introduction to computer science, and introductory course covering basic concept of computer science, course description, course department, computer science, and the course credit hour is 3. Within bracket close. Then if you want to add more, then you have to within parentheses you have to write calculus 1 should be quoted, then introductory code covering differential calculus, then mathematics, comma 4. It means 2 record you can add. Here I added 3, maybe introduction to psychology, an overview of the basic principle and concept in psychology, psychology and 3 credit course. When you will press OK, 3 rows affected. In this way, we are able to insert the. Then how you will see? So here you have to write select a star from courses. You can see on the screen, it will display same as on your computer also. Computer ID, course name, description, course department, course credit hours. Here I have added 3 courses. 1, 2, 3. One, introduction to computer science, and course description, an introductory course covering basic concept of computer science, then the computer science and the 3 credit course. Next is calculus. First, introductory courses covering differential calculus, mathematics and credit 4. The third record is introduction to psychology, an overview of basic principles and concept in psychology and 3 credit. When you enter, it will show 3 row asset. It means you have already added 3 rows or 3 tuples in the course table. The last table is enrollment table. You have to also insert the value in the enrollment table. Same way you have to write in MySQL, insert on enrollments within parentheses, student ID, course ID, enrollment date, grade. The values 1, 1, 1st September 2023 and A grade. Student 2 ID 2, 2, 5th September 2023 and B grade. When you will press effect, query 2 rows affected, 2 will be added. If you want to see, you have to write select a star from enrollments. You can see on the screen enrollment ID, a student ID, course ID, enrollment date and the grade. Enrollment ID 4, a student ID 1, course ID 1, enrollment date is 1st September 2023, grade is 1A, and the enrollment ID is 5, a student ID is 2, course ID is 2, enrollment 5 September 2003 and grade B. 2 record will be added. You can see on this, you can see. Then in the next session, we will discuss about the execution of commands on the university record management system. All execution command we will discuss. Execution of queries in URM. I've given the URM. The first question we will discuss how can we update the enrollment information for a particular student in a specific course. How can we delete particular enrollment from the tables? How can we alter the table to add a new column, say semester, to store the semester information for each enrollment? How can we drop the semester column from the tables? In this way, we are able to query for that. How can we retrieve the enrollment for a specific student? The next question will be, how can we retrieve all enrollments along with the corresponding student and the course information? So you have to do yourself. How can we define the total number of enrollment in the table? How can we retrieve the latest enrollment date for each student? How can we retrieve all enrollment for a specific course? How can we retrieve the average grade for all enrollment? You can see on the screen the next question. How can we retrieve enrollment made by a student with email address from a specific domain? How can we retrieve enrollments for courses offered by a specific department? How can we retrieve enrollment for courses with a credit hour greater than a specific values? How can we retrieve the earliest enrollment date for each courses? How can we retrieve enrollment where the grade is higher than a specific values? So in this way, we have to solve, we have to find how can we retrieve enrollment with all the highest grades. How can we retrieve enrollment made offer a certain date? How can we retrieve the number of enrollments for each courses? How can we retrieve enrollment where the grade is null? In our exploration, we navigated the intricate world of database management system in detail with creation of four tables, and we have to enter. In our exploration, we navigated the intricate world of database design with four tables, your understanding and practical skills. I hope you enjoyed this exploration and all these queries. Thank you for your active participations and we eagerly anticipate your presence in our upcoming lecture. Wish you a wonderful day ahead.